Shiro of Japan. Then beat Liang of Hong Kong, China. And got here by beating Lin of Canada.
Well, if you look at 4 athletes by country, we've got Korea, China, and Jalen Liu of the USA.
How about that nice little circle 6 circular parry?
Close the line.
That wasn't the flesh. That was sort of like Fred Flintstone barreling down the piece.
Attack. Touch point.
It's an attack. So it was attack from the right, but they both just stepped in and stopped.
Yes,
and waved their blades at each other.
Well, that was a little clearer than the last one.
Yeah.
And also from a longer distance.
Tara, repostos, Juan, Anga, okay, Ale, attack, touch, Juan, Anga, okay, Ale.
Look at Zhuang's mask. It says JoJo. Then she's fencing Joe.
Attack number lang. Ongga. Okay? Ale.
Am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? It's like a circular disengage to the outside.
That's what she did.
Which I guess is can be very effective from a left-handed fencer. Or a right-handed fencer, I suppose. Well, Joe surrenders her weapon.
Okay? Ale.
So again, as you said, David, Zhuang is going for the underneath the arm and the flank. That seems to be her target of choice. Again, to the back. Watch the target she goes for. To the back, and it was the remise that hit. Zhuang's actions are on the blade. so far.
On guard.
She's straightening her
With a
weapon with a wrench.
Yes, I've seen lots of people do that. Personally, I would like to just put it under my foot and just pull it clean. Again to the back. So there's a target that Zhuang has found that seems to be effective for her.
Okay. Ali. Tap. Push. One. On guard. Okay. Ali. Attack. No balance.
There again was the Fred Flintstone coming down the piece there by Zhuang. I don't know what else to call it. Meanwhile, Joe is a little bit longer than her and has scored on a couple of really nice attacks in the middle of the piece from a long distance. That's what she needs to do.
Attack. Okay. No balance. Do la do distance. On guard. Okay. Ali.
Well, getting in close with Zhuang is probably an unenviable place to be.
Yeah, because she
Because
likes
when
the
she,
blade.
yeah,
She's strong. She's strong inside, and Joe has been very successful from a longer distance. So let's see if she tries to stay away from getting too close, or letting Zhuang get too close.
On guard. Okay. Ali. Horari postão para. On guard. Okay. Ali. Attack. No para. On guard. Okay. Ali. Attack push. Beat attack push. On guard. Okay. Ali.
Fencers trading touches here. No one's been able to get a real lead so far. They're going to go to the break. They have to keep fencing here. At least make believe that they're fencing.
well, that will take us to the 1 minute break in our first women's foil semifinal, and they're pretty evenly matched, but with very different styles.
Yeah, I mean, and Zhuang has to score by taking the blade to get inside. Joe, on the other hand, can score from open distance because she seems a little bit longer and has scored 2 really long attacks in the middle. So one fencer has to have the blade, wants the blade, and the other fencer is happy not to be on the blade.
In that last men's foil semifinal, where there was a signature move, and I can see where Zhuang's been successful in doing that circular disengage
To the flank or back.
to the flank or back.
The risk with that, David, though, is that that's a tough target. It's a small target, and if the fencer drops her arm or angles her body a little bit, doesn't even have to parry to cause you to miss. And a couple of Zhuang's touches have been not on the first action to the back, but
So on the second.
on the second one.
Yes.
Okay. Stop behind the line. Okay. Ale. Atano para. On guard. Okay.
So quicker off the mark there. You could see that she is longer.
Push. One. On guard.
So when Zhuang is coming forward, she's asking for review with those sort of mincing steps, like those stutter steps, with whatever that is. She's almost standing up a little bit and out of balance and at risk. It looks like she got parried here. You see?
Well, not only does it look like it, she did.
Exactly.
But
Attack para. Postos.
Joe
On guard. Okay.
it doesn't seem to be shy now about backing out quickly
No.
and using her reach.
Ah,
That was lovely.
Olga.
As Zhuang was plodding forward and preparing, she was not ready for that and got caught flat-footed.
Okay.
And
But I mean, that was a simple beat lunge.
yes,
There she backs out.
Ah, attack Mabala. Olga.
Joe is dangerous there in the open piece. She's very long on that, deceptively long.
Okay. Ah. Ah, parare postos.
Mm.
One. Olga. Okay. Ale. Ah, no balam.
That's a little dangerous for me for Zhuang. She's not scoring on that, but she's at risk of being hit.
Yeah.
Ah, push. One.
Attack right.
Anga.
Again, that long, precise lunge.
Without a blade beat, everything for Zhuang is with the blade.
Ah, push.
And she is also, I've seen her a couple of times here, where she's blocking that circular disengage.
Ale. Ah, parare post no balam. Onga.
This is a big advantage for Joe, in my opinion, because Zhuang can't hit on the straight attack. She's not. It doesn't seem to be quick enough to get inside. It has to be on the blade. And now with a 3-point lead, it's forcing her to attack.
At. Berako at. Pada tu senggat. Le. Ale. At attack no balam. Anga.
Joe is just making her blade disappear.
Yeah, that's a big first step for Zhuang. She's at risk when she takes a big first step like that of getting hit in her preparation. Let's see if Joe can do it.
Teratak no balam. Onga. Pe. Ale. Attack push. One. Onga.
So that's frustration setting in for Zhuang. There. She threw the kitchen sink at Joe, and Joe was just waiting for it. Made the parry and the riposte, or made the attack no, and whatever.
Attack. One. Onga. Pe. Ale.
Joe on a 6-1 run really opened it up as immediately after I said that they were trading touches.
Kontra-attack push. One. Angga. Pe. Ale.
Whoa! Oh my!
I'd like to see the replay of that.
She's lucky that there was not a serious injury there. The blade went underneath the mask and flipped it off. Wow! You could see the restraining strap there on the back of the mask. It's supposed to be really snug to keep it on, but obviously, if a blade gets underneath it,
that's what was the leverage?
What's that?
I'm trying to remember the Greek mathematician who.
Pe. Ale. Attack no balam.
Still attack left off target.
Pe. Ale. At na parang. Ogan. Durado distance. Ogan. Okay, ale. At para may post ng walang.
Okay, so Zhuang's pushed Joe back to the end of the piece. There's nowhere
Anggan.
to retreat anymore. But Joe doesn't feel like she's really at risk because Zhuang hasn't been able to get through in the attack down there.
Well, the last time they were down there,
Okay, ale.
Joe picked up the attack and turned and riposted.
At push one.
Well, that's a good one. Sort of, no one expected that. Clearly, Joe didn't expect it because she got flat-footed. Attack right in the middle.
At kontra-attack ng walang. Ogan. Okay, ale.
Clock winding down here. We'll go to our second break. But that was a strong period there for Joe.
It was. She opened up the score. It was 6-6 at one point. Right now, I think the key for Joe is to use her distance. Don't get so close where she can get picked off on a straight attack, as we saw on Zhuang's last touch. You have a much longer reach. You're much longer on your legs. I would say don't get too close and don't go back to the end of your piece so easily. Right now in the last period, you know Zhuang is single-mindedly focused on attacking and scoring. Maybe she's very vulnerable early in her attack in the middle of the piece. Maybe try to pick her off early with attack and preparation.
Ogan.
We start our third and final period.
Test anggan.
I wouldn't say that Joe has hit the pause button here by any stretch, but
Ale.
I like the strategy for Joe. Don't even let Zhuang get comfortable pushing.
Attack ng walang.
Make her uncomfortable. Don't even let her start.
Ogan. Okay. Ale. At attack no kontra-attack push one. Anggan.
hitting that counterattack going backwards is pretty impressive.
That was an impressive touch
Ale.
by Zhuang. I would say that Joe should not attack to the.
Push one. Anggan.
Well, that's what I was thinking she should do, attack and prep. Anyway, once she got hit on before, she attacked to the closed line under the arm, and that's not the target to go to on that.
At attack ng walang. Anggan. Okay. Ale. At attack push one.
Don't even retreat once for Joe. Just stay there. Don't even let Zhuang get started.
At attack no kontra-attack push one.
Well, there you have it. It wasn't an easy match for Joe by any stretch, but she used her talents and her abilities and
Victory belongs to Korea.
every aspect
Juhyun.
she took advantage of in that match.
She had the advantage of being quicker on her feet and really not at risk of getting hit on Zhuang's attacks because she was a little bit slower on her feet. But I have to give credit to Zhuang. She hung in there. It was a pretty close bout. And the key was for Joe to be at a slightly longer distance, use her reach advantage.
All right.